death on me, Lord. I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on my soul. Somewhere my heart turned cold.
What's up, YouTube? 50 Mile Per Hour Man here. Today I got a battle versus my good friend Jaden. He got internet back. He lost it for a while. He got it back, so battling him. It's OU. Start off with a startup. He starts off with a Kecleon. And I'm like, alright, just go for the U-turn because he's not going to stay in for a close combat. But no, I decide, let's go for the close combat anyway. I'm an idiot. Anyway, go into Metagross because I figure Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, something like that. Just goes for the substitute. I'm like, shit. So he goes for the Shadow Ball. That's going to do pretty good damage. I mean, it's going to be a 3-hit KO, but I just mash. And he's going to sub again, because he's going to just try to wait for me to miss the Meteor Mash. And he's complaining. He's like, oh, why don't you miss? And I'm like, because I have wide lens, dude. I'm not going to miss. So I'm like, okay, he's not going to sub again this time. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball. Especially since I got that attack raise. So he decides to go for the Shadow Ball. And I'm like, yes, that's amazing. Great, this Gengar is done now. So I trick, and I give him an Iron Ball. But I get some Black Sludge. That's not the greatest, but I give him an Iron Ball. So I should have tricked again, knowing he probably didn't want to stay in and lose his Gengar. I should have tricked, but that's okay. I'll take setting up rocks. That's alright. So now he has this thing, Melodic, and I go into Breloom. I'm just going to Spore. And I'm going to set up a sub as he's going to switch out because he doesn't want to stay in. So I'm going to switch out, or he's going to switch out. I'm going to stay in. I'm just going to go for the sub. And I figure since Gengar usually aren't defensive, I'm going to go ahead and Seed Bomb, take him out. But apparently this thing has some defense because he lives it, gets off the Shadow Ball, and it's going to break my sub, and that's not good. Now I'm not going to be able to stay in on any fire type he brings in. So I just go for the Seed Bomb, finish it off. So now he's going to go into his Jinx, and I'm like, okay, how bad could this thing be? And he goes for the Ice Beam. He's faster than me, first off. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know what these things could do. So that surprised me. So my Breloom goes down, and I'm kind of pissed. So I go into my Empoleon. Then it's fucking faster than my Empoleon. I'm like, holy shit. What the hell? And then I don't know what to do, so I just go into my Staraptor. He goes for the Nasty Plot, because I knew he wouldn't go for the Ice Beam. I just go for the U-turn, and I take it out. I go into Dusknoir now, not knowing what he wants to go into. So he decides to go into a Claydol, and I'm just gonna... He goes for Toxic and misses. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I hit. I don't want to take a Toxic at all on this Dusknoir. So I decide that I'm going to switch out, go into my Empoleon, who's sleeping, and he just goes for the Rapid Spin. And he got rid of Stealth Rock, so that's kind of depressing, but alright. So he's still hurt by Burn. He switches out, goes into this thing, this Kecleon. So I burn and turn to sleep. I want to go back into my Dusknoir now. And he's going to go for the knockoff. He was trying to get rid of my Pataya Berry. He got rid of my leftover. I go for the Fire Punch. And because I was thinking, okay, we'll make it Fire type. Which I just did. So he sets up the rocks. Now I'm going to go for the Earthquake and for the super effective and hope that it takes it out. So health is going down. It's going down. It's going down. Doesn't go far enough. So now it's ground, and I don't know what I'm going to do. He goes for the recover. And that's why one thing about battling Jaden, almost everything has high defenses, and it has a healing move, so it's upsetting. So now he's going to paralyze my Dusknoir. And he's going to switch out, go into Melodic. I just went for the Fire Punch. So while this thing's in, I'm going to switch... No, he's switching out and going into Kecleon. And I'm going to go into Empoleon. And I know he's going to try to knock off again, because he's trying to get rid of my Pataya Berry. So I switch out, go back into Dusknoir. And he does go for the knockoff. I saw it coming, though. So he switches out, goes into his Blissey now. And I switch out, going to Staraptor. And I'm like, yes. Got a Staraptor. and he's got a Blissey. I can close combat, take it out. And so he just fodders the Kecleon, and that's probably the best move that he could do at that point in time. So he had to fodder the Kecleon, and now it's down to he only has 3. He still has a Pokemon. I still have a Pokemon that he hasn't seen. Goes into this Claydol, and I send it out. I go into Heatran, and he goes for the Toxic. That's good. Thank God. So I go for the Fire Blast. Does pretty good damage, but he just goes for the rest like a bitch. So now I'm going to switch out, go into Empoleon while he's sleeping, and try to set up my sub and get my agility. He goes for the Thunder Wave. Obviously it failed because I'm still sleeping. So he switches out, goes into his Melodic. I sub. I go for the agility, and he goes for the Surf. Doesn't take it out. So I go for the Grass Knot, do some damage. He goes for another Surf. Breaks my sub. So I decide I'm just going to go ahead and set up another sub. He's going to go for the Recover, like a fag. But that's neither here nor there. So he goes into this Blissey. And I know it's going to be a long-ass stall war, so I sped it up to ×4. And when I say long stall war, I mean long stall war. The rest of this battle is at ×4 because it's nothing but stalling. Because he can't break my sub with this Shadow Ball. So I'm just going for Surf. And he's just failing at T-Wave and going for Shadow Ball and not breaking my sub. So I decide that I'm tired of stalling. So I'm just going to let him take out my sub. And he soft boils. I mean, come on, dude. You could live a ton more hits and you're going to soft boil then. But, so he goes for another Shadow Ball. Still doesn't break my sub. I wish he would. I'm tired of saying this. Jesus Christ. So I just keep going for Surf. Trying to will it down. He goes for Shadow Ball. Blah, blah, blah. Finally breaks it. I'm like, okay, I'm done stalling. I'm just going to go for the Surf. He goes for the Shadow Ball. I'm still done stalling. But no, he wants to stall more. So he goes for the T-Wave. I'm just like, dude, just kill my Empoleon, please. I'm trying to let you. But no, he doesn't. He's being a fucking queer. Ugh, it's pissed me off so much. If I had more patience, I would have won this fucking battle. Yeah, spoiler, I lose. Big deal. If I had more patience, I would have won this battle. Even with Pataya, still didn't do that much. But I could have, hopefully, got rid of his, like, I could have wore out his soft boil. Whatever. So, now now I get paralyzed. I predicted that too. I knew he was going to soft boil and I knew I'd get paralyzed. So now I just go for the Surf. It actually does pretty good damage for not being very effective. So now, fuck. I go into Dusknoir, and he goes for the Surf, and it takes out my Dusknoir because he gets a crit. Woohoo. I was going to go for the Pain Split, but whatever. So I go into Heatran, go for Hidden Power Electric. It doesn't really do that much damage, and he goes for the Recover. So I just go for another Hidden Power Electric. It still doesn't do that much damage. He goes for fucking Hypnosis. Really? You couldn't just put me to... You couldn't just use Surf and kill my Heatran. Honestly. What a dick move. And now he goes for the Surf, and I live, and I get off another Hidden Power Electric. And I get a crit. And he just surfs and takes me out. So, now looking back on it, if I had tricked that Black Sludge to this Melodic, that probably would have been a good play. So now I have to lock myself into close combat because I have Brave Bird, that'll kill me. U-turn's not going to do enough damage, and Double Edge will kill me. So he goes into this thing, and I'm just close combat. He goes for the Toxic. Honestly, he could not just kill me. He had to stall it out as long as possible. And I got a crit right there. If that crit would have taken it out, that would have been nice. But it couldn't. Of course not. Because then I could have beat that Blissey. But just go for another close combat. He's going to go for the Sleep Talk. He's going to kill my freaking Staraptor. Good game, Jaden. Blah, blah, blah. Guys, comment, rate, subscribe. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Bye.